Thank you for joining Wars of the Roses. And this is Mother Earth by Frater Rollo Ellis, an article taken from Rosicrucian Digest, Volume 19, Number 7, August 1941. Mother Earth by Frater Rollo Ellis. How often most of us use the phrase Mother Earth with but the slightest comprehension of the full significance of its meaning. The earth upon which we live is a mother in every sense of the word. Within and on its crust, every element known to mankind is given birth. Upon this function, all life in and on Earth is dependent. In last November's issue of the Digest, I presented my views on planetary life in an article entitled, "Do Planets Grow?" It is my wish to pick up the chain of thought where I left off in that article and explain more in detail how, in my opinion, the evolution of life and matter operate. It might be well to state here that my opinion hereinafter given may or may not be concurred in fully by others. During the past few years, we have read much about the splitting of the atom. Professor Lawrence of the University of California, with his large cyclotron, has to date made the greatest progress. He and other scientists state that when the atom is split, a great force of energy is released. They are searching for methods of converting and utilizing this atomic energy. It is my contention that the splitting of the atom is merely the mating of the atoms, that when a positive and a negative atom mate, numerous electrons and protons and neutrons are given birth, which are naught but baby atoms. The electrons and protons being minute reproductions of the parent atoms, while the neutrons are the unfertile gender and incapable of further reproduction. In other words, that the cosmic atom is the nucleus of all forms of life and matter, by and from which all laws governing the reproduction of life and matter are fixed. I further contend that mature cosmic atoms possess a body that in substance is equivalent to the form and character found in the innumerable forms of its multiples. That when two atoms mate and reproduce their young, their remaining skeleton is known to the scientific world as the diatom. The diatoms are the base or nucleus of all gross matter and constitute the base or negative substance from which all material things are evolved. That electrons, protons and neutrons, though negative, positive and neutral in action to each other, are all positive in action to the diatom and its innumerable evolved forms. In other words, to put this in plain language, the mating of atoms releases two separate agencies in the form of a base material and in the form of energy. The energy recombines or revitalizes the base material and establishes the process of evolution. From the atomic skeleton to man is a long step, but scientists claim that our Earth was given birth over 2 billion years ago. If we divide this up into normal lifespans of man of 70, we have 28,571,428 lifespans in which man has had to evolve. The records of man only go back a few thousand years, and in that short period, science has been able to calculate improvement in the bodies and minds of men. If we but calculate backwards to the birth of the Earth, using known records for comparison, we need no more than the cosmic atom as a nucleus. Man, being God's greatest and most perfect creation, was the last form to be evolved. Science further tells us that the atomic energy, atoms, coming to the Earth from the Sun and other planets are split or shattered at the outer edge of our atmosphere. The atmosphere around the Earth, which is spinning with the Earth, might be likened to a vast mixing bowl in which mature atoms swirl until mated with other atoms that come spiraling down from the Sun with terrific force. Their skeletons drift off into space or fall upon land and sea, depending upon in what sphere of the atmosphere they mate. A percentage of these mature cosmic atoms do not mate until within the sea or Earth. As initial evolved forms of the atomic skeleton, we have salt, soda, sulfur and lime. Chlorine and iodine are undoubtedly given off or created at the birth period. Iodine might be called the blood of the atom. With these initial evolved forms of matter as aids and agents, the process of evolution gradually broadens in scope. With each evolution, new agents are created and new combinations are made possible. When 1 million evolutions have taken place, the combinations that may be made are entirely beyond conception. We start in the beginning with the varied assemblies of protons, electrons and neutrons to form the innumerable types and characters of both cosmic and material atoms. The material atom continues its process of evolution, and by assembling atoms of different types and of different ages of evolution, all substance and matter is created. Man consumes food, liquid, and oxygen. His body alters these substances into blood, bone, flesh, and energy. Oxygen is but a mixture of cosmic electrons, protons and neutrons, that when fused with nitrogen, the inert gas of space we call air. Hydrogen is but a different assembly of same in a further evolved state. Fuse 2 parts of hydrogen with 1 part oxygen, and the result is water. Continue this process of evolution and fusing, and at one stage, petroleum is a result. The function of Mother Earth is so similar to that of man, except on a much larger and broader scale, that when visualized as a whole, one cannot doubt but what man was created in her likeness. Science has long regarded the diatom as a microcosm of the sea, yet no man has ever examined anything but the skeletal remains. Assembled in mass, they are undoubtedly the most negative of all known matter, readily absorbing other substance. They might be likened to minute sponges, which in the case of salt, absorb chlorine and iodine from water, and the result is salt, its initial and most plentiful evolved state. Within the earth, in a further evolved state, it becomes what man calls lime, and as such is the bone of the earth. When a young planet is passing through its period of growth and has as yet developed but little atmosphere, a greater percentage of the atoms must mate within the planet, and the resulting release of new energy and the deposit of their skeletons and their continuous evolution could and must be the basic factor of planet growth, in relatively the same manner as the bodies of mammal and man are developed. Pages upon pages can be written on the evolution of life and matter, but in reality the whole story can be told in one sentence. All life and matter from the microcosm to the macrocosm is by cycles within cycles in which a very simplified pattern or law is employed. The mating, mixing or blending of 2 substances to create a third and progressive continuum of all things. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe and comment, and if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Roses. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.